The stream is running, and so YouTube is running, Google Meet is running, everything is running. Welcome to this lecture. Thank you very much once again for joining me and for your patience. So, well, it is a bit of an emergency lecture because I had to change my plans. I had a different plan, but I had something prepared that I was not gonna deliver to your course this year, but I really think it's useful. So basically, this lecture is called Growing Beats. So I think that writing beats is something that for some people is really easy, and it's something that for other people is harder. Depends on where you're from, what's your background, what's your story, who you are. This can be complicated, easy, simple, amazing, painful. And well, it obviously has some big implications in your music journey because, I mean, the more you can write beats, the more you can do stuff, because kind of in a way, everything is beats, really. We will discuss this as well today. So it will be a half, I wouldn't call it theoretical, it's more like a very practical applied lecture in which I'm going to share with you some thoughts, you know, that I have thought of across the years of how can I help people to write beats if they don't know how to write beats, and how can I see, you know, how can this be improved in their lives. So I have a couple of, like, you know, plans for this lecture. One of them is I want to identify the idea of the 3 takes method. I call it like that. I have mentioned it in class to you, but I want to say it again, being in the context of what we're doing, because we're going to work like this. And I want you to start the process of engaging with the creation of music from a more objective point of view. That's kind of going to be always my journey with you. Identify 4 cases of beat creation. So we're going to see 4 cases, 4 different ways of making beats. So we can meditate on beat creation from a different point of view. I want to describe the characteristics of my Caribbean roots and what that means for me as a creator of beats, and identify patterns in music that can help you to frame your music from another perspective. And I want to discuss the implications of rhythm in the world of melody, so you can continue your own research and augment your sonic palette and all of that. So we're going to be doing this introduction to the Caribbean roots. We're going to discuss the 3 takes method, and then we're going to see 4 cases of beat creation. And these are not like things that, I don't know, that are written in a book or that are determined, you know, by some authority in the Olympus of music. It's just some sort of like ideas and things that have come to my mind and things that I have read and things that I have encountered that I think can help to some people that just cannot write beats. So we're going to see the case of beatboxing, and I don't mean like a professional beatboxer, you know. I mean something more like, well, I mean, what if we start making beats with our mouth and then we transform that into the DAW, you know. We're going to talk about a case number 2, which is kind of like starting from an old idea, and you will see what I mean by that. And then we're going to do a case number 3, which is like starting from a specific drum pattern. And case number 4, you know, chords and chord progressions. So how can this help us to write beats? Like, that's the whole point of this lecture, is to write beats. It's not to construct new songs or something like that, even though beats are the basic, like, building blocks of songs and stuff like that. So I don't remember, can somebody remind me if I have shared with you this video? I just don't remember really, because I have a lot of lectures and I think I haven't discussed this video with you yet. Can somebody remind me that? I need to hear you. I mean, I don't know. Elena says no. They're writing on the comments. Anybody else? I haven't shared this video with you, right? So what you're watching there is the beach of Choroní. That beach is kind of something like 3 hours away from Caracas. And it's a beach where I used to go a lot. Actually, I think this is Cuyagua, not Choroní. It's a beach where I used to go a lot. I mean, Venezuela is like a beach paradise. It has like 900,000 kilometers is the totality of the country, square kilometers. Venezuela has kind of like 100,000 kilometers of coast, you know, wrapped around on itself. So it's a pretty long coastline, and it's in the Caribbean, so it's pretty awesome. And I was spoiled in all my childhood and all my life with amazing beaches and amazing places. And I don't know how much you know about the story of Venezuela, but Venezuela has deep black African roots because of the slave trade. You know, they were moving a lot of slaves in the 16th and 17th century into Latin America, and 18th century too. And unfortunately this was happening, but anyways, the consequence of this is that Venezuela is really not a South American country. Like, what I mean by that is like Peru, Bolivia, and Chile. These are South American countries. Colombia a little bit, but Venezuela is really a Caribbean country, which puts us more close to ideologically and spiritually and culturally more close to Cuba, to Dominican Republic. You see, like Argentina and Venezuela are really not culturally connected. But anyways, this is not a music production class, so I just wanted to augment a little bit the context of myself in your life, and to tell you that in Venezuela we we have a saying. I'm sorry if it's a non-politically correct joke as usual, but in Venezuela we have a saying. What you're gonna see, by the way, it's important. It's called tambor. What I'm gonna show you in this video is called tambor. And in Venezuela there is a saying which says, rocker that doesn't know how to dance tambor dies a virgin. So I'm sorry for this non-politically correct joke, but I mean, it's such a big part of our culture. What that means is that it doesn't matter if you are a metal guy or a hip hopper. Everybody needs to know how to dance tambor, because if not, you will have no social life. Kind of. It's not true, but anyways, it's a saying. So there's a reason why I'm going to show you this. So check it out. And you see how this guy is dancing. Like, I know how to do that, strangely enough, but I was doing that for a lot of my life as well. That's called tambor, and it's just an expression of that's called tambor, and it's an expression of Venezuelan folklore. And I mean, apart from these people dancing there, what I really wanted you to pay attention was about how these guys are dropping their percussion. So, for the sake of it, I'm gonna do something that I did not have planned. I did not have planned in this lecture at all, but it just came to my mind. You hear Ableton, right? You should hear Ableton. And actually, this means that I'm gonna change my presentation slightly, because I'm gonna add a case 0, which is decomposing something that you are hearing. You know, like I'm gonna add here a case 0, which is gonna be decomposing another beat. You know, that's really interesting. That's something that we're gonna watch as well, now that I thought about it. So this thing has many layers, you know, because it has many people playing, and I'm gonna try to kind of like make a quick recreation of this, just like this is one of the elements. Well, I mean, I'm making a little bit of a simplification here, because I cannot play it right now. I'm not telling you anything. I'm just put myself a challenge, which was to recreate this. This kind of like has these elements. I cannot recreate it with my hands here. It would be like I need to do something like ta 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 tu tu ta ta ta. It would be something like that. I'm here kind of joking. Sorry if it's a bit lame. Like, so I'm just kind of like pulling apart something that I'm hearing there. I'm gonna record this 1 second just for fun. Wait a second, and then I'll move on with the actual lecture. Yeah, let's use another. So let's go, let me record this, and then I'm gonna do something. E. And then it will be another layer. There is another layer there. It would be kind of like ta, 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 ta. You see, it starts sounding kind of like what you were listening there, and it's just 3 layers. It would be like, so let's hear it again. I'm gonna try to piece out the parts that are in there. there is one of those elements that is just an improvisation. It's this guy with the white tambour. And there is another one, really clear element that you can hear there, which is tatak, 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 tatak. You need to learn how to listen and to separate things in your head. So let's hear. Do you hear it? There is like tatak, 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 tatak. It's a guy hitting with a little palochki, like hitting a little thing of wood. So let me see. It's something kind of like that. If I just grab this, I mean, I just created a beat. My whole goal today is to put ideas in your head on like when you're stuck and you need to write beats. It's like, what can you do to get unstuck? Like, that's kind of my goal. And that would be always my goal, kind of like to help you to get unstuck when you're stuck, you know. So I'm gonna just grab this. This was really not in my plan, so I'm improvising here. Then you will see my plan, but I'm gonna just quickly grab this thing and quantize it and then show you something that obviously you can do right away that would be useful. So let me just quantize this quickly. I think that I'm gonna need a triplet grid here, or at least a grid in 32s. Yeah, quantize. No. Yeah, I think I'm gonna need a triplet in 32s. Like 2. I think it's gonna be like 2. Wait. Yeah, I'm gonna be too long here. Yeah, if I grab it here, maybe it will quantize well. So, quantize. Nah, I'm gonna lose too many time doing this. So, no worries. Let me continue with the course of my lecture for now. What I wanted to show you really is like, I mean, it's like obviously once you make an idea that it's slow, you can then, like I have shown you a lot, it's a super useful resource, and the more time I use Ableton, the more I use it. You can just shrink it to make something more dynamic, more crazy. So, let me see. Let me get out of here. Ah, yeah, it's here now. So wait, where are we? Let me just select this and half it. I hope that you remember this. Or in the opposite, right? Yeah. I'm outside of the loop. I see. So please halve it. And yeah, I know what's going on. I see. It's some fishka here. So now I have something like... and I can do a lot with that. But you see, it's a very different thing than what I had initially. So anyways, let's go back to where I want to go. This is not where I want to go. So let me just get rid of all of this. And so, well, obviously the meaning of this is that I carry a really profound, like, Latin American root that helps me to write beats. So it's really unfair kind of from my side to tell to people like, yeah, writing beats is so simple, you just go there and it's just like, I grew up with this, and you don't have to have grown up with this in order to be able to make beats. That's the first point I wanted to say. It's like, I know it's unfair for me to tell to everybody and to the world like, it's so easy to write beats, look, they are just there and you take them, you know. But not for everybody, this is obvious. So I wanted to offer you some techniques that can help you to make things more, you know, more transparent and more clear. I don't know if you remember in Venezuela, I don't know if in your high school it was like that. Pupitre escolar. Wait, but in my school there were this this kind of like, you know, how do you call this in Russian? Like where people sit down in the school. I'm waiting for some commentary there, guys. Sometimes I need to check that you're there, so I will not be asking questions. How do you call in Russian this thing?
Parta.
Sorry?
Parta,
да.
Parta? Like, I'm not seeing the one I would like to see now, but in Venezuela there is a... Let me see if I write Venezuela. I don't think we will see it there. But in Venezuela there was a lot... this kind of parta or pupitre. We call it pupitre actually, like similar to Russian. This is getting closer to the ones I had in school. There is a reason why I'm telling you this now. This is very close to what I had in school when I was studying there. But imagine like this front thing here was a metal plate, so things don't fall from this. And when the teachers were going out just like to check out something, we were playing tambor in there, like in there. It was just like all the time a percussive experience. So Anyways, I wanted, as usual, to share a bit of my inner world with you first, and secondly, just to tell you that it's unfair for me to talk to people about making beats because I just have a little bit of an advantage because of where I grew up. So I guess that I'm going to analyze this case a little bit later. So obviously, if you don't have a solid structure, even if solid like rhythm structure or solid like first étage of your song, you know, even your super amazing, interesting idea is going to fall apart. So your beats are really like a very key for whatever you're going to construct. And they are kind of like the roots of music. And actually, if you think about it, melody is just rhythm with notes allocated to it. So if you can craft rhythm, you can also craft better melodies if you combine your rhythm capacities with music theory. So that's really an important thing. And the other thing that I want to say is that actually, wow, sorry, my mind is just flying into millions of places, but I think I have a better idea than, I have like two cases that came to my mind, and the other one is using speech. It just came to my mind, sorry, I just want to write it down here so I don't forget. So let me just drop them a bit down there and see it later. Like literally using speech, and maybe I want to start with that because that's really cool. That's a really cool idea. Excuse me for a bit of jumping back and forth. So beats are the root of music, and melody, it's also rooted on beats. So if you know melody, you're going to have better beats. But before we start, let's discuss what I call the 3 takes idea. I think this is something that I have mentioned to you before, and I mentioned it informally, and this is the first time I say it formally. You know, every time I do something, I always put myself the challenge to make 3 takes of that thing. Why? Because, I mean, if you have this challenge and you push yourself, then you will be able to produce a lot more stuff. And like I told you, I think that the musa, when you're trying to search for inspiration or something like that, the musa is found in between boring tasks. So usually it happens to me that I start doing something and then I start doing something boring, and when I start doing something boring, I remember what I was doing before, and the whole thing grows and becomes more interesting. So whenever you have a task, it's like, I want to write 1 beat, then write 3, and put yourself a task to write 3. I want to run white bass line, then write 3. I want to write white piano line, then write 3. So yeah, just wanted to share that idea with you, and we're going to use that principle today whenever we write something. Like whenever we're going to do something, we're going to hear a beatbox, and then we're going to make like 3 ideas to that, and 3 ideas to that, and 3 ideas to that. And if you push yourself like that, it's going to help you a lot. So my goal was to experimentally and practically see the process of creating beats from different angles. So that's kind of where I want to go. So I told you, like, case number 0, decomposing another beat. So what I'm going to show you, and by the way, for those of you who heard the Anthony Kiedis interview that I put on the Telegram channel, and if you have not heard it, I'm going to anyways mention something to you about it. We're going to enter into the territory of, is music a collage of ideas, or is there something like an original creation, you know? And I don't know, I'm a very kind of like open source minded guy, and I think that music is really like a collection of collaborations in between a lot of people, and not only collaborations, but really like we take from other music all the time. That's kind of where I'm going. So you're gonna see me suggesting you do that, and I don't want to say shameless about it. I think it's a great resource. Anthony Kiedis, the singer of Red Hot Chili Peppers, he was asked the question like, what do you think about people downloading your music for free? What do you think about people imitating your band? You know, and this is a guy who plays in front of 20,000 people since he was since 1980s, you know. And he said, man, like, I don't care that people take pieces of my music and use them to do their own stuff. Like, and I agree with this. It's just like culture is a collective work between millions of people, and there is not this kind of like isolation, you know, of things being so separate. But of course, we want to have our own sound. We want to be unique, and we want to be doing some cool stuff. So I'm not telling you go and copy something, but I'm telling you search for inspiration somewhere else. Is going to be useful. So the one case I have here, it's decomposing another beat. So, and then you see using that as a resource. So can somebody tell me a song? Just tell me any song that comes to your mind. It doesn't matter which one. You can write it in the chat. I guess it's easier. Just write me a song. I'm waiting for any song. There. Okay, Anton. Okay, I'm gonna take the Mac Miller one. Just I don't know because why not? Anton wrote first, but I'm gonna take the Mac Miller one. So Mac Miller, and the song is called What's the Use. So I'm gonna hear it for 1 second. Wait, Mac Miller, What's the Use? So I'm gonna hear it for 1 second, and can you hear it, guys, over there? Yeah, you should. You can love it, you can leave it. It's saying nothing. You were hearing it, right? Yeah. Okay, great. Well, that's a pretty simple idea. You know, it's kind of like a, how we call it, a general disco beat. Wait, and we can grab this general beat. You know. I'm jamming here with myself, so I'm gonna do it on the way of jamming. It would be. Something like that. Wait, let me just hear it again, just to be sure. Oh, it's different BPM, right? Let's change the BPM. Let's change the BPM here. So I'm working here at the end of my session because I have a lot of stuff that I want to use later. So I'm going to change the BPM there. And let me just go here and go song tempo. And I guess I'm going to catch what's the BPM of this. So let's see, BPM counter. So let's see what's the BPM of this. I'm gonna play it 1 second. There's something about it. Just freeze me out. 3, 4. That's kind of 105. 105. So let me just put here 105. I don't want to change the other BPMs for now. Yeah, 105. Cool. 105. I'm gonna tell you what my goal is right now. My goal is to imitate this beat and then do it so differently that it's gonna be a new thing. But I'm assuming that, oh shit, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. I have this Mac Miller song and I'm hearing it. It's kind of like tu ta tu tu ku ta tu tu ta tu tu ku ta. It's something like that. So let's imagine that I can do it with finger drumming, which would be like. But okay, let's say that I am not a finger drummer, so let's do this. Let's just like, we heard the kick, and so we're gonna go like tu 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 tu. Let me start again. So it was gonna be like tu 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 tu. Great. So okay, super. Let's put the snare. I'm only doing the snare now. I'm assuming that I'm not a finger drummer, so just for so everybody can, so this can be useful for everybody. So let's do the Great. So I have kick and snare. Let me just blend these guys together. I guess that, yeah, there it is. Okay. And let's just quantize it real quick. I didn't quantize it well because I'm using a different algorithm that I shouldn't be using. Wait, quantize settings. So let me see it in 16. Great. And now let's add the hi-hat, right? It was something like this. So let's go. Actually, I'm trying to not act like a person who can do finger drumming. So I'm just gonna do that in the kind of like in 8-note fashion. So just gonna start like that, and now I have this. I'm like, oh shit, I don't have this stuff there. Let me just copy it back here and just let me put this information here. And so now I have something like. Let me just quantize this right away and apply it. Okay. And now it's like, but I hear some things that vary there a little bit. It doesn't seem to be just like 8s, you know, when I hear that thing. Again, like I would go, personally, I would just jamming with myself, and that's how I write beats. But let's just see it in another way. So let me just grab it from here. And then I can just repeat one note here, da da da. You know, why? I just decided to try that, you know. And then I can, for example, repeat another. I can make like a little movement here, which is like. And obviously, all these programs, they have this function. I guess that maybe you know this now, maybe you don't know this now. I don't know, but all this program has this function of humanizing for example, humanizing the velocity of things, so things sound a little bit more groovy and natural. As you know, I'm more like a Pro Tools guy, so it's gonna take me a second just to do it. I don't remember something here. I just need to load the envelopes. Wait, I need to load something from the side here that I'm not seeing in this view. Let me just close this. Let me open this thing on the side. Yeah, and it should be. Oh no, it's down here. No, it shouldn't be down here. It should be here. Wait, let me see. Can I? No, this is the velocity. No chance. So I want to randomize the velocity, and it should be really notes. I guess reverse legato randomized. Yeah, here it is. You see? Like, I can just grab all my hi-hats and then randomize the velocity, and I can put a velocity like, okay, this is the range. So when I do that, like now all the hi-hats kind of become a little bit more natural. So I have some hi-hats. So how did I do that? Just in case for some of you who don't know, when you touch a note here, like you have this menu that comes on the side that says notes, launch, clip. So I just loaded the notes one, and I just set a range. You know, I want this thing to vary a lot. So I want this thing to vary, like, let's say very much, and then I can randomize it. And you see some notes become softer than others, and now the whole thing sounds more natural. So now, but I don't want this thing to be a copy of that Mac Miller structure. So I'm just going to grab, maybe I'm going to do something really radical here. I'm going to change a snare with a kick. Just something as simple as that. Let's see what happens. And I'm going to change one of the kicks again for a snare. I create a totally new musical structure there. And then things that start with a kick seem to be like kind of more, I don't know, like easy to lock in. So I'm gonna kind of like respect the fact that everything was starting with a kick, because I don't want us to get lost. But I'm gonna use, you see, I have a segmentation here that is given to me by the grid. So right now my grid is being read in 16ths. So I can just add something here by duplicating one note and just adding it here, for example, and then I can get something like this, for example, right? Oh, that sounds a bit different. And now what happens if I add another one here, just randomly? You know, why not? Oh, now we have a really different thing. We started from that Mac Miller thing, but we're trying to move in somewhere else. We're trying to move somewhere else. And then, for example, I don't know, maybe I can repeat these two things here and obtain some extra like rim shots there with the hi-hat, and let's see what happens. Nice. So, I mean, from a song that already exists, I got something. Let's see what Anton had sent. That can be a nice... there is a question. Eliana asked a question. What do I use for finger drums? I have this little keyboard. It costs like 8,000 rubles or something like that. And I just play with it. I use the pad a lot as well. I have my things mapped, you know, to the pad. But yeah, I mean... So yeah, that's what I use for finger drumming. I'm gonna see what Anton said, because the more strange the song is, the better. Let's see what Anton said. Anton sent Duvet Boa. Let's see what's up with this. So let's see what's this. Okay. I'm gonna skip this example to move on to other cases, because I will do one case later, which is gonna be with something absolutely crazy. So I wanted to get something crazy there, but I think that the Mac Miller example and this example are not so far away from each other in terms of what I wanted you to get. So case number one. Oh my god, I'm stuck. Decompose another beat and move its component parts. So I guess this lecture in the next time I will deliver it would have more cases. Then there is another case. I just thought about this. Case 2, which is using speech. Okay, can somebody say anything that... Okay, I'm going to ask a question. What is the favorite food that your babushka cooks? Can somebody answer me this question? If you have that option, you know. What is the favorite food that your babushka cooks for you? Or your mom, or whatever, or your favorite food? Just, can somebody answer that on the online lecture, please? I'm not hear you. I would like to hear it. I would like you to say it, not to write it. I would like you to say it, like open the mic and say it, and actually say it. That's important.
I like when my grandmother cooks голубцы for me.
Голубцы for me. Okay. Голубцы for me. Голубцы for me. Like, let me record that without a metronome. I'm gonna record it without a metronome. It was something like... Wait. It was like... I'm not recording. It was like... Golubцы for me. Because one of the things that you're gonna discover... Well, I mean, I don't know if you're gonna discover this. I have discussed this over time. You know, one of the reasons why maybe we used to use music to store information. I don't have like a source or a book that told me this. Is something that many people discuss and say, you know, one of the reasons why we have such a good rhythmical memory is because that's how we store information. It's like da 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 da. That's how we store information. Is like that's how we store information. Is like that's how we store information. Is like, you know. Oh, so Antoni's already making. That's great. Antoni's already making the meter of this. So is it in 5/4? Let's see. Let's see. So it would be like, let's try to transform this. Let's try to transform this into something that can be quantizable. So I just wanted to really record it without the metronome on purpose, just to see what's up. And now we're gonna analyze everything. It would be like golubцы for me. So let me try to quantize to make this quantizable. But it was not so squared. It was kind of like tukuta tutu. So let me just change the grid here and augment the resolution of it. This snare was falling later. I just want to be in a quantizable situation where I can use quantize and everything. So let's see what's up. Yeah, that's cool. That's how it see for me. And then it was for me was like it had several spaces there. So let me go and try to fix that. See for me. For me. No, even more separation. Even more. It was like tutu. Golubцы for me. Aha, it was something kind of like that. You agree? Golubцы for me. And now let me just put this in line with the metronome so we don't go crazy here. So my whole goal is that when this lecture finishes, you're like, I don't have to be born in Latin America to have rhythm inside of me. If I can hear speech and transform that into something, I can make beats. So okay. One of the things that it's gonna maybe be a difficulty for you, and I want you to forget. I mean, I don't want you to do this, but I suggest you to do something from now until the future. Get rid of the accent of your metronome forever. If you get rid of the accent of your metronome, it's kind of like you can orbit around anything you want. When you have an accent on the metronome, then things kind of like, it's really hard to go against the beat, and it's gonna confuse you really. Like since 2010, I have never in my life used accent on a metronome for anything because I really don't think I need it. So if I have this and then I start listening to this, and maybe I can get confused. I'm gonna make a loop and I'm gonna hear it with the accent. Oh, it's like, what the hell is going on? You know, if I just remove that accent, it's so much easier to work with this. So now we have this golubцы for me, golubцы for me. And something really interesting happening. That was a mistake. You know, I didn't want it to be like this because I wanted this to have a space like golubцы for me, golubцы for me, golubцы for me, golubцы for me. Let me just get rid of this for now and explore this. Golubцы for me. Actually, I wanted it to be more like this, like C for me, loop C for me. So yeah, it's in 5/4, I guess, right? 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1. I don't know what it is. I'm really bad at this. If somebody knows what's the time signature or something like this, just tell me. I don't know. So, aha, we're getting somewhere. It's starting to sound something like we can make a song with this, you know. So let me just unite all of this. Nice. So, okay, I finger drummer. I mean, what can I do with this? Let's see. Let me see this like. But I mean, again, I'm acting like as if I'm not a finger drummer and I don't know anything I can do here. Let me do something more complex just to flex my skills. Let me do something more cool. So, and there, I'm really not using some finger drumming skills. I'm just randomly dropping some notes. There is nothing special. My finger drum skins are kind of like... I mean, that's a really useful skill to have, and I hope you can develop it, because you can do a lot of stuff with that. But, again, I'm acting as if you're not, and you're not going to develop those skills. You don't have to. So, okay, what is it? We had with Gulup C for me. And then, I mean, what happens if I just add a stupid hi-hat, you know, a stupid hi-hat just in all the ones? So now let me duplicate this and pull it like that. So now I have some sort of like, I have an attractor there that is kind of attaching me to something. So great. So what do we got here? Nice. And so what do I get there as well? I can just like, let's say that one of the things that I encourage you to do as well when you're trying to beat, Anton says sounds 4/4 to me. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Right now, I agree with you. I read the messages there. Just moved accents. Yes. And also there is some sort of syncopation. No, not syncopation, but we have information on beat 3. So that's just give us this sensation of uneasiness on construction, because we have an information on one of the downbeats, on the second downbeat. Okay, cool. But one of the things I can do is just like start just adding in random information here. I wanted to tell you something. Like, I want to sometimes try you to think, or the more you can think about something called counterpoints in music. Do you know what I mean by about counterpoints? It's like idea A and idea B that responds. So we have like, in music we can build structures that are very symmetrical. You know, like I have every bar saying me the same thing. And then I can also build a structure that is a little bit asymmetrical. It's like I have let's say a whole riff that is like let's say 8 bars long, and I can do like bar 1, 3, 5, and 7 are doing something different than the even bars, odds and evens, for example. So I'm gonna say let's add a fishka to the hi-hat, not in all the bars, but every 2 bars. So it's kind of like, and then I repeat it here. So let me see. So I have like. So we have like kind of like a question and response situation. Like, what's up? That's it. It's like, what's up? That's what's up. What's up? That's what's up. I made a mistake here, so I wanted to do it like once yes, one no. Let's go here, and then let's move to here, and then let's move to here, and then one more here, like. Okay, and then obviously I can permutate this thing as long as I want, you know, like I can just grab this and make it in 32 bars and then just transform this whole thing into into a trap song. So let's just find a ride here and then just make this. So I'm gonna have like Oh, I wanted to do it more like, sorry, not in 32, but in 16. So it would be something kind of like this. So let me just repeat this forever. I'm just kind of kidding here, and I'm gonna make this in some sort of like trap thing. So and in here it's gonna become really useful, that thing I was telling you, like, hey, let's randomize this velocity. So I mean, just try to imagine the richness of all the music that you can write with this. Let's do another example. Can somebody tell me? Let's see. What did you did last summer? What did you do last summer? Did you went somewhere? I would like somebody to speak. Like, it's better if you speak. And let's give it somebody that it's not Anton, just to get another example, just to vary it a bit. Can somebody else tell me what were you doing 1 year ago in the summer? Nobody? No chance?
I was playing basketball.
I was playing basketball. Can you say it again?
I was playing basketball.
Right?
Right.
So it would be like, I was playing basketball. It's actually maybe similar. No, is it similar to what we're doing? No, I don't think so. I was playing basketball. So sorry. So the same process is going to be repeated. I mean, I'm not going to repeat it, but like, I was playing basketball. I was playing basketball. So, and then I can repeat the same process, add the hi-hats, make something random, create a lot of random stuff and strange things, and just do it. So that's really cool. And actually, I'd like to explore one of my own examples. And actually, I would like to explore one of my examples. And actually, I would like to explore one of my own examples. And actually, I would like to explore one of my own examples. Something like that. And actually, I would like to explore one of my own examples. And actually, well, whatever, I'm gonna get lost there, but you get my point. I mean, this is infinite where you can go there. This is infinite where you can go there. Like, it was like that, right? Like, it was like, this is infinite where you can go there. Something like that. What you need to pay attention is to where your accent flow. What need to pay attention is where your accents flow, you know, and this is going to open you a lot of stuff, you know. What needs to pay attention is where your accents flow. And of course, the important thing about this whole lecture is that I just said something like, for example, we were doing this Golub C example. Like, we need to forget where we started, because we are not making a song that it's about Golub C. We're making a beat that we will use to create something totally new. So I was playing basketball. What it was like, it was that one, right? I was playing basketball. Wow, it's so different. I was playing basketball. We need to really forget about where we started, what we were doing, were we playing basketball or not. Like, that's just like a beginning. And then we can take this thing, right, and just put it somewhere else. And then we forgot where we started. And actually, you see, what I did there was not intentional. I didn't want it to paste that like that. I didn't want it. I wanted this to be a bit more squared, you know. So I was ready to do something kind of like tu ta tu gu ta tu tu. Right? And same too, like what we did with Anton's case. Now, in London, I had a drummer for my band that was called Riccardo Castellani. He was Italian from Rome. And he told me something that I always took very close to my heart, which was, follow your mistake. He was always telling me this. Man, you gotta follow your mistake. If you make a mistake, you gotta follow the mistake. Miles Davis, he was super into jazz, and he was saying like, Miles Davis, he played maybe the wrong C flat, but that was $1 million C flat, because Miles Davis played. If you play the same note, nobody will give you $1 million. But you have to follow your mistake. So you see, like I really like to follow my mistakes and not to be attached to some preconception. What I really wanted to do when I heard I was playing basketball, what I really wanted to do was this. Basketball. Stop. But then I pasted accidentally like this. And that's amazing. And that's amazing. I have something very different there. Okay, we have a lot of other cases to proceed. So let's go. Case 2 was using speech. So now I need to update this, and this is case 3, is beatboxing. I have discussed on the sidelines with you guys a lot of things about this Timbaland masterclass. It's something that we're going to see in the end of the course. You know, it's kind of like the last 2 lectures of the course of music production are kind of like more about building community and breaking barriers in our head about music principles that we have and things that we don't like. And I used to hate Timbaland and everything that Timbaland did forever. And nowadays I'm a huge fan of his work from a professional point of view. I mean, I still don't hear those songs and I'm not like, yeah, those are my favorite songs. But I saw a masterclass with him that we are going to analyze together at the end of the course. And this super inspired me. And one of the things I noticed that he does that it's really cool, and I really didn't thought about this like that, is that he kind of writes all his songs from the perspective of a beatbox, and then he transformed those things into actual music. I'm kind of like destroying one of my lectures in the future because this was supposed to be a surprise in the end. But whatever, this is where we find ourselves now. So I just destroyed one of my lectures in the future, but that's okay. So, I mean, he kind of asks for a metronome, and then he goes something like... And of course, I'm not a beatboxer at all. I cannot beatbox. But what I did here, I mean, it's absolutely simple and nothing special. I want to hear it. Wait, I want to hear it. So I have something solo here. I see. So I just recorded whatever came to my mind there. Okay, let's do it better with you guys. Who is not a big boxer? I guess nobody. Is there somebody here who is a big boxer? Who can write big boxing things? I hate online lectures. They're so hard. It's like you feel like you're like in an empty hole, alone, stuck on your own. Feels like crazy. Is there anybody who is a beatboxer here who can write big box? I want the opposite. I want somebody who is not a beatboxer.
I guess we're not big boxers.
Okay,
like...
can you just do something with your mouth? Can you do it? So, I mean, that's obviously a resource to write music. I know because I have heard your music, but then I know that you know how to write the beats, and for you maybe this is not so like consequential information. I see here Natalia, Cristina, Palina, and Eliana, and I know there is a lot of people in one computer. I don't know what's the case there, but can I get some of you to talk to me a bit? Are you guys there? Natalia, Cristina, or Palina? You can speak, or... Seems like no. It's painful, guys. I'm telling you, it's painful. So it seems like no. Okay, then I'm gonna just continue developing my own case because this thing is being recorded and I want this to be useful. So when I made this lecture for the first time, I was in a trade show in
sorry, Natasha just came to computer and she has some technical issues, but...
Okay, I see. I see. If I mute my mic, okay, no worries, guys. I'm gonna show you some examples that I recorded myself. I was like on the side of a trade show, and I want to show you something that happened that day because I see we have kind of like like 30 minutes to go, and there is a lot of things I want to do. So I'm gonna show you an example I developed in the past. So I had this beatboxing ideas. So I wrote that myself. It was kind of like with my phone somewhere there. I was like and then I have another idea here that I recorded with my phone. And then I had another idea here that I recorded with my song. And then I had another idea here that I recorded with my phone back there. But you
It's
see,
awesome.
yeah. By the way, if you haven't seen this video, have you guys seen this video? The source of this GIF?
No.
Okay, this really requires like a little bit of riff in our lecture. Let me see. Just wait. Yeah, here it is. It's just too good. It's just too good. This is crazy. This is crazy, guys. You really have never seen this? Like, none of you? Oh, great.
Daughter Nicole, I guess this will be battle part 2.
Wait.
Daughter Nicole.
And I'm just gonna put this in the presentation because this is one of the best things I have seen in my music life, and you really have to have it around. Wait, sorry, this is another stuff. Close. Okay, let me just go here, and I think it's here where it's gonna be. No, live streaming. No, I got like everything open here. I'm actually going to put this video here because it's insanely good. So I got this video here, and so let's go. Let's play it from. I'm gonna play it from here because I'm sure that it works. So okay, go ahead. I'll play a couple of minutes.
Yes, this will be battle part 2, because most of you folks said that she won, but
so it's father versus daughter.
that's good. That's good. Here we go.
So was that impressive? Was it cool?
Well, I saw a lot more impressive beatbox.
Let's hear his daughter.
What in a cottage cheese? Okay.
She's looking at his father like, let me teach you a lesson, boy. Of course, this gets more epic as it progresses, but yeah. Obviously, you can go very far away with big boxing, but we're not big boxers, so that's pretty cool. Anyways, what I wanted to show you really with this is something like, when I was building this, if I don't remember correctly, let me see something here, one sec. I was piecing this beatboxing thing that I did into several parts. So let me hear this. I don't remember. Wait, because I did this a while ago. Let me hear the next one. Actually, let's build it, man. Let's build it. Let's not be lazy. I really want to show you how I would build this from scratch. And I'm actually gonna do it really from scratch. I had this example done, but I'd rather go in making a new example here. So I'm gonna just record something from my beatboxing mind, and I'm just gonna like really improvise. So I'm gonna go here because you see there is a point I want to make there. So I don't want to have a metronome. Well, let's have a metronome really, so it's faster because we are in a lecture and then it's like too slow. So okay, that's what it came to my mind. So it was kind of like great. And let me use another case. I'm gonna record, like I told you, 3 ideas. I'm gonna record 3 ideas. So that was the second idea that came to my mind. And the other thing that came to my mind is okay, I have it more clear now. It's like like it's kind of like why not? So I did 4 ideas that are separate. I'm gonna do another one without the metronome. So that's what came to my mind. Super random. It's like a monkey speaking or something. It was kind of like you see. So okay, now what I have this. So I have two. Let's just switch this on. And I'm gonna do again. Like let's start with the kick. So there is right. So let's build that. It was like put the metronome again. Let's build that. So E. So it was kind of like so. So I need some sort of hi-hat to do this. So let's recreate that. So it was like tiki ting ting takata. So it was kind of like, and this was a hi-hat. So and there is this chikipu, right? Like toon chikipu pa. So I need to kind of recreate that. So I need to again increase the resolution of the grid because it needs to be more chick, right? Like that's really good enough to. And there is a tick there, you see? Toon chiki tuk ta tiki tick tick. So let's hear it. And there is a tick, right? So I guess it's gonna be like this. I need to do this chickapoo again here. There is a whole point I'm gonna build with these 3 ideas I made. Sorry. So that's one of those follow your mistakes moments. You see, I didn't want this thing to be like that. It contradicts my original idea, but it's cool. That's cool. But I kind of look like more my old idea, sorry. And here I kind of, you see, I sand that snare a little bit different. So I can go like and I guess that this guy goes here, right? And then there's another moment here. It sounds like a snare, what I did. Let's put that clap. Great. So, cool. I have made a beat. And obviously, I mean, if you want to go wild, I mean, you grab this guy. Like I told you, you should experiment this all the time. And then just half it and see. Why not? I mean, this can be useful. Okay, so that was idea number 1. I put my challenge to make 4 ideas in this case. So what was the second one? So something like that. So okay, let's go. Let's record it. Wait. Let's record it separately. That's one of the points I wanted to make, which is beat layering, right? So, and 4. Wait, I made a mistake. Let me just fix it. And 4. Ta 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 tuku taka ta tung tuku. And 4. It was something like that. And all I need to do is to recreate one of the halves. Great. So this one is done. Then let's duplicate this. So now I have this thing, and I'm gonna join it and quantize it. And let's quantize this. Now, one of the things I can do here, obviously, now that I have this construction, and this is one of the big points of the lecture, is like all you're doing is making maps of impulse versus rest, you know. And then what the hell are you gonna do with that impulse versus rest? Just go like and then I can change the sounds, right? I started with some toms because what I was singing sounded like toms. And I have another beat, so like, nice. I'm gonna go back to my toms for now. There is a reason why. Great. And then the next thing is gonna be, wait, I don't wanna lose this. Wait a second. So I guess I can do this. Okay. And now let's see the other idea I had, the fourth idea I had, which was. So it's kind of like. Something like that. Doesn't matter what timbre I'm gonna use. I see I have another thing here. Where is this? Let me just find it. Let me look at the... it's not switch on. That's cool. Like, look. Let's hear that idea again. Taka. It would be like ta 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 tung tung. So okay, let's go. So let's record that. So I lost it. So that was it. So what do I have now here? I have this thing. We're going somewhere with all of this. I just need to develop these 4 ideas. And my whole point is like, dude, really, do you really think that what I'm doing is sort of like, I mean, I don't know, like, is it really so impossible to write beats? Like, is it really so hard? I mean, does this requires any special skill? If anybody can answer me that question, I don't know. Do you really think that this requires any special skill? I mean, I'm kind of doing things, and you have to correct me there if I'm wrong. I'm kind of doing things that are just not rooted in any skill in particular. It's just sort of like knowing how to draw in a board of a program, and like, I mean, in this like grid, you know. I don't think that it's connected to any particular skill. Like, that's one of the things that I want to prove with this. But if you disagree, I would love to have a discussion about it, like a conversation. So cool. So now I have this. So Eliana, when you wrote, is this an old thing? It was written like 15 minutes ago. Yeah, sorry. So now I have this thing. Okay, cool. So I have this thing, and then it's like chung, 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 and I break this apart. And then let's put it together. And then I had one more idea here that I'm going to develop, last one. So wow, that's going to be hard to do. It was something like that. I hear a question here. Have I tried Conacol? I don't know if... I don't think that I know what you're asking me. It's an instrument or... I see. I'm seeing it now. Wait. Let me see the instrument. So there was a question here. If I have used the instrument called Conacol, I'm gonna see it here. So it's more like, it's not a rhythm. It's not a... It's a type of...
Nam tarigidagata di tom nam tarigidagata di tom nam tarigidam
taditom nam taditom
oh, this is amazing.
அப்பன் நீ அம்மை நீ அயனும் நீ அன்புடைய மாமனும் மாமியும் நீ ஒப்புடைய மாதரும் உன் பொருளும் நீ ஒரு குலமும்
I mean, beat is everywhere, right? Like, we carry it everywhere. I'm gonna finish this and then I'll continue exploring this. So we were in this thing like, it was like... So So let's get it. So it was like, let me record this, 3 and was something kind of like that. So let's just put it together now. So I guess I'm gonna need a grid here. I'm gonna need it in triplets too. Yeah, so it's gonna be like, it was like this. And I don't need to play the second one, I have it here already developed. So, oh man, both babies are crying back there. It's really hard to focus sometimes when you hear your babies cry. Like, so let's hear. Okay, and let me just get this out of the way. So, and the other one was, and then it repeats here. Oh, I made a mistake. So what do I got here? Great. So my whole point was, what happens if I put all these ideas together and I just play them at the same time? So these are things that were generated in isolation from one another, but I mean, they can create a lot of rhythm complexity if I start layering them with one another. And that's what is called beat layering, obviously. And obviously, what you can do, and I tend to do this a lot in my songs. You see, this thing has 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, right? So you can develop your beats in the following way. It's like complexity is increasing. So I'm gonna repeat this 4 times, and I just go like this. This thing starts like this, and then I'm gonna be adding one of those elements in every set of 2 bars. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then I'm telling a little story there, and I have a little like nice shape there. So let me just make a loop here. This all came out of nowhere, right? Like, oh, sorry, I have one of them off. So great, and then my voice there synchronized great with this. And of course I can just grab this guy and leave it alone in the end, and then I have a new segment. Oh, sorry, I wanted this thing to continue. Great. So where did this came from? I mean, do you have any ideas? It came from my mind. Did it came from just jamming with myself? It came from my mind. Of course, I did the beatboxing, but I don't really think that you need any special talent. I mean, you can just start dialing stuff in your DAW and you're gonna get there. Okay. So I have another point here, which is starting with an old idea. So this is something that happens a lot, that you end up with some kind of like proto songs there that are kind of like not completed or something like that, and that it's just there, a part of your life here that you never use. And for example, there is a song here called Marquisa Day that I made for one of the lectures, and I wonder if I have an export of that. I should have an export of that day too. I don't want to open a new project right now because I'm gonna get a bit confused if I do that. Let me show the containing folder of this. And where is this? This is in Marquisa Day, and this is in some projects here. Timbalandia. Wait, Russian congas. Russian congas. I want an MP3. I just want to grab an old idea that I have in MP3. I remember saying that Timbalandia to somebody. No, I don't have it here. Beatboxing Timbalandia. Let me see, Marquisa Day. I remember saying the songs to somebody. Nah, it's not Marquisa Day. I don't have like an MP3 here. I want to get a old little yeah, this is a fully formed song that I mixed already. Russian congas, I don't have any exports. Here come the Philistines. No, wait, this is another thing. Mastering. Mixing Goethe Institute. Oh, guys, we're gonna have such a good fun with this. This is a really... okay, I'm gonna just grab like another idea. There is this demo here from one of my clients. So you see, like, imagine that was an idea of mine that I didn't develop well, that I left it there, and I want to create a new song. I don't care about that idea anymore. Like, I just want to create a new song, and I want to use that as a proto material for it. So one of the things you can do is just load that thing. Imagine that I was working on this for a couple of days, then I forgot about it, I left it there, it stayed there for 1 year, and I just want to do something with this. So whatever, let me just load this thing. So what I want is to identify something from this old idea that I built that can help me to write some beats. Obviously, one of the things I can do is to start jamming with it. Like, obviously, I can just start jamming with it, like, out of nowhere. And just like... But I can also use those accents to create something new. So let's hear that.
Окей, давайте по порядку, привезите нам зарядку.
I don't want to hear anymore. All I wanted to do was use those little keyboards. And again, oh no, I'm just not a finger drummer. You can obviously build this yourself. So it was like let me just start it from here, and from here. Oh no, I don't want to do that. So just take this here and put it here. Here. I kind of messed up here. Switch this off. I had an old idea there that I never developed. Boom. 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 And I'm just like we were decomposing rhythm from speech. I can decompose rhythm from this musical idea. So. And all I did was just to grab those accents. So let's just go here. And you get the point where this is gonna go. I mean, I guess I'm gonna skip it a bit, but you get my point. I mean, I want you to reuse your old ideas. If you have something there, and then you see, you can just destroy it and make something new with the same idea that you had there cooking for a while. It was kind of like this. Obviously, I mean, I can just go here and just start writing stuff with in the DAW. Let's just add something here. Just putting some random stuff here, and then I got hit this thing. That's already a new idea. That's already a new idea, and it came from something that I heard that I did a year ago, and then I have this thing there, and I'm like, okay, cool. Let's just use this. Let's just give it a bit more time to breathe. And obviously, when you want to write hi-hats, you just populate all the segmentations of your bar. You can start like that, just like to write hi-hats, just like use all the segmentations in your bar. So 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, So, and then it goes like. And I got a new idea from something that I had already old from there. So use your old ideas. You know, these are things that we leave there. Usually we grab those unfinished waveforms and they're a great source of inspiration to write rhythm. Just get your idea, your old idea around and start jamming with it. and then like write beats that can anchor you to something new that you have created, or all of them, and then just listen to everything and think about what you did, and you can just use those old beats that you were jamming to create new music. Like, that's really useful. Now look, this is a really useful thing too, starting from a specific drum pattern. So go to YouTube and see snippets of drum slots of old performances. So in the last time I made this example, do everybody know here the band Chorny Coffee? Do you guys know the band Chorny Coffee?
Yeah, I know.
Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, okay. Like, and I did this on purpose with Chorny Coffee because I personally don't like Chorny Coffee. So I opened YouTube and I went like to Chorny Coffee, and I opened a little piece of Chorny Coffee. Let me just black coffee. I'm just making a translation here. Coffee, Chorny Coffee. And I went to Chorny Coffee, and actually in that time I opened this like video, the best of black coffee, Chorny 1 and 2. So I opened this thing and I went to the middle of somewhere. Like, these are very squared. Okay, I like that. Tu tak tu ta ta taka taka. That's what I heard. Okay, great. Let's go. Great. How many songs can I write with this? And I mean, again, I was just jumping around. I needed inspiration. I didn't know what to do. I was bored in a Saturday, you know, and I just want to start something. So let's go. So that's what I heard. Tu ta 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 da da da. Right? Aha, so what do I have there? I have, this is important, I hope that I have your attention here. As usual, I will run a couple of minutes late. I mean, I just really tripping this, I have a lot of things to say, and I'm really tripping this experience with you guys. I know that I'm like in a vacuum, and I don't know if you're with me or not, but I'm having fun. So if you're having fun, great. I hope. So, and also if you're getting some inspiration here. So, okay, what I see here is that there is some impulses and some places where there is no impulse. So that's a note and a rest, right? And so obviously creating beats is about administering notes and rests. So I have something like this. And so what can I do to make this grow? Well, I need to make decisions. Like, and again, my goal is to think like a person who has zero capacity to write beats. Has never even done it before. So it's like, okay, I went to YouTube, I opened a Chorny Coffee song, I randomly jumped around everywhere. I saw a little snippet that I liked. I went here and I put it in my song, you know, in my DAW, to ta 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 da da. And now what do I do with this? Well, you should start experimenting by, for example, adding information together with the old information that you have. So let's see. I'm gonna put this here. So let's put one right. Oh, this right is really noisy. I'm gonna use something more like that. Tumbling. So I'm gonna put information when there is another bit of information there. So. And of course, the other thing I can do is to play with the downbeats or with the moments, in this case, the moments that don't have information. Oh, and what do I have here? And let's just get this and, oh, let's just get this and change it to another sound. Let's put another kick there, why not? Oh, I didn't like it so much. Let me see the hand clap. Does that sound like Chorny Coffee to you? Let me just put it. And then if I increase the segmentations, right, I have new places where there are no notes where I can add something. That was a bit awkward how it sounds, because I mean I'm putting it in a segmentation in between two. I mean in between a downbeat and an upbeat. Or maybe I can put it here. Let me see. No, it's not gonna work. Okay, you get my point. I came from Chorny Coffee to something really different. And obviously, once I create complexity, one of the things I should definitely try to do if I just created complexity, right? And then let's say that I repeat this thing many times. Let's say 4 times. And then I join it. I can start switching off stuff. I mean, once I have stuff running there, I have to start switching off stuff so I can tell a story. That's how you tell a story. Like, you create a pattern that is complex and then you decompose it into simplicity. So let's just, for example, leave just the kicks here. Sorry, using Pro Tools key commands here. That's not gonna work. And then let's just add, after this, let's add the snare, obviously. Like, and let's not add them all, right? And let's just get rid of this one. And let's just now open not everything, kind of like do something like this, and then leave the rest for the end. And let's get rid of this. One moment. I'm being very arbitrary there. I'm just doing it really randomly. So what happens? So I went from Chorny Coffee to that. You know, there is no excuse to tell me I cannot write beats. I mean, even for this can be used for electronic music, like for house or dance or techno. You know, if I just go and add a repeating vodka. Okay, now there's a couple of more things that I wanted to say. When you create rhythm, you can also drop that thing and put it in a piano roll of a synth or whatever and see what happens, because sometimes some interesting things happen from there. Now check it out. Let's say you see what happened there. Oh my god, like I started with Chorny Coffee and then I just put that thing in a synth. It was accidental, really. And then I'm gonna do that's kind of one of the best electronic music songs I have written in the year. Where did this process came from, and what's the key? Maybe what's the difference between some of you and the situation where I find myself in? And this is really important, that I am not ashamed of myself. I am not ashamed of just trying everything. And that's where you need to go. If you feel like, oh no, like maybe a bit like too afraid of trying something, or just like, who cares, or why would this work? It's not gonna work. You know, the only thing you have to go is to try. We discussed this in one of the lectures. You know, when I showed you the lyrics of the A Perfect Circle song, just begin. You know, just begin and look at what came out of there, out of nowhere. There is no excuse. It cannot be that I did this because I'm some sort of musical, I don't know, like anointed person who carries music in his blood. Man, I just copied Chorny Coffee, dropped it in a synth, and something came out of it. Obviously, the more I gain control over the music creation process, the more powerful things I will be able to build, because I will be able to control things. I was here kind of like, in a way, you know, left at the mercy of randomness in a way. But I mean, the point is that I started like that by not knowing what I'm doing, and nowadays I have pretty much good control of the things that I'm trying to create. So I put you a case here, which is amazing. For those of you who are new to the course and to our world, have any of you, and I guess that this question goes more to the guys who like prog rock or something like that, have you heard Anthony Burns? Do you know who is Anthony Burns?
Actually, I never heard of him.
So Anthony Burns is a dude who is doing something amazing, and this can be a really good experience for you to write beats. Like, Anthony Burns is releasing music for drummers to go and create beats for it. So he releases extremely well. He doesn't only do that. He does a lot of cool things. It's really amazing guy. And for example, this song is called like he has this kind of like name called T Beats Creations, and he just makes songs for drummers to create drums for it. So this is amazing. This is amazing work, by the way. Like, so they have no drums there, and then drummers go and play stuff to them. So he has a very famous song. You see, this song kind of like has like a beat, but it can be. He has a very famous song called Supercharge. That it's kind of like a meme on the internet now. Like I mean, the song is. You see, it has no rhythm, no kind of like a rhythm. Ah, but this is a. Yeah, this is the song. It's super geeky. And you see, he only adds you this like kind of clap. And then he's kind of like a challenge for drummers. It's like, okay, go and make me beats for that song. And well, this is a case. This is the new drummer of the Mars Volta, by the way. So he goes and he makes his own interpretation of what the drums of this song should be. So what I wanted to say is that I noticed that this guy T Beats, he grabs drum solos and he writes songs to drum solos, and then he uses that as a little, like, you know, source of information to create new beats. So I was suggesting you here go to YouTube and see snippets of drum solos or drum performances, you know, and chop them, take them to your Ableton Live, and then reconstruct that, and then start destroying them, you know. For example, this thing starts, it's the same case as Chorny Coffee that we did, but it's a bit more sophisticated because of the drummer is better. So for example, this was kind of like. So that was a snippet. It was like E, tu, ta, tu, 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 tu. So, well, I have a wealth of a thing there. And I can repeat the same process I just showed you all the morning just to get somewhere with this, right? So that's pretty cool. I guess that the last thing I wanted to show you, and that's it for today, and I'm sorry to running a little bit over time, but Palina wrote yes, but I don't know what you mean. That you liked what you were hearing, Palina? I'm just curious. I wrote that you wrote yes? Ah, that you know who is Anthony Burns. That, Palina? That's what you meant? I have this guy. I mean, I love this guy so much. I'm like singing this song for months. This supercharge. It's amazing. So, anyways, the other thing I wanted to tell is like another way you can extract beats from you, and this would be the last case I will share for today, is by just having a chord progression. You know, when I was making this example. Because chord progressions are like magnets for things, you know, they attract you to do something when they are going on there. When I was creating this lecture a couple of months ago, I built this chord progression, and I built it especially on purpose to be a little bit odd. I want to be fast, so I guess I want to try to do it from scratch, whatever. Like, if you guys could want to go, but I'm going to build it from scratch, because my point is to demonstrate that these things are not far away or impossible to attain, or just like for musicians that are so advanced, you know, everybody can just grab the cycle of fifths and extract some information from it. So I'm going to open the cycle of fifths, and if you haven't studied the cycle of fifth yet, you will, I'm sure, but because I'm not so good at music theory, I'm using the cycle of fifth a lot. So I'm going to load the cycle of fifth here, and I'm just gonna quickly create a chord progression, like a really out of nowhere, you know. So I'm gonna stand on G. So I know that G has only one accidental by looking at this, so I kind of have like G, and then I can do D and C. It would be like the first, the first, the fifth, and the fourth. So it would be like first, the fifth will be D major. But it has one accidental, so it would be like, sorry. And then that's G major, and then I'm gonna go and do D major. Whatever, I don't know if it's major. Yeah, it's major. and then I'm gonna do yes. So I'm gonna do sorry for that. And D. Super simple chord progression. So let's do a super simple chord progression. My goal is not to write a chord progression, is to write a beat. But let's say that I had a chord progression. And I'm gonna go. I'm making it all the same length on purpose. And I start again. So that's what I did. I made them all on the same length on purpose. I want to break that apart now. So fix the mistakes I made here. So I have here a little note hanging there, and I have a little note hanging there and hanging there. So let's just quantize all of this. Quantize settings, 1/8. So what do I have? So I have this chord progression there. I hate when Ableton does this. Come on, I quantize it really carefully. So why aren't you? So my proposal to you is just jam with this. You know, what does it comes to our minds when we work with this? So it would be something kind of like, obviously, or something like, so let me record that right away. So it would be like, I'm gonna make several patterns. So my whole point with this, I mean, here I was using my finger drumming capacities and also my inner music that I carry. That's up to everybody. I'm gonna quantize this. There's gonna be some errors here. Yeah, let me just quantize it to 16 notes. Wait. And I don't want this to, that's why it's doing it so. There was a mistake there and I love it. There was a mistake there and I love it. Nice. So I was jamming with that thing, and we're almost ready. I was jamming with that thing, and then I want to take this little kusocek here that I built, and let me just put this bass drum in a place where it sounds. And now I have a new idea. And now let's see. So let's see. See my point. I built a new song in 30 seconds. I mean, just because I was locked, I was started jamming with something else. Then I generate a new beat that allows me to make a new jamming. I don't care about that chord progression. I was just kind of like, maybe I need an anchor so I can have a jam, you know. Maybe I need something to pull me towards something. And chord progressions can be useful for that. So what I was kind of saying in that last part is sort of like, hey, you know, work out a chord progression that you like. There is no percussion in there, so we're going to want to add some drums, have a jam with this chord progression, and start crafting beats, and then use those beats to build a new song. That was my whole point. So it is used to force ourselves to go faster and to stop stuff till a certain time. So we run against the clock to pressure us a beat. So I'm saying you this as a doполнительная информация, you know, always put yourself a ограничение of time to work, and that's also going to help you. If you have like an open canvas there, but you said like, I'm going to work till 2 p.m. today, and that's it. And then you're like, shit, I need to hurry up because I got to work till 2 p.m. So, and obviously remember that you want to try to lock kick drums and basses. And also whenever you use a snare, whenever you use any rhythmic information, you have a silence to counter that. So remember that. I mean, I'm telling you 2 little tips that are useful, you know, whenever you want to try to lock your kicks and your basses together. Is going to make things sound more full and more complete. And the other thing that I'm telling you is like that I told you already before a couple of minutes ago, every impulse of information creates a subsequent possibility for either a silence or another element. So in this counterpoint, there is a lot of it that's happening, you know. So cover the spaces in between with elements that you want, claps and snares and things that come up. So yeah, that's our lecture for today. If you have any questions or comments, would be cool. Just let me know. Any ideas, thoughts there? Are we cool? Are you ready to write some new beats? Hooray! I'm very excited. So Palina said thanks. That's all I got. So Antonja, right, thank you. All right, that's cool. All right, I'll see you on the Friday, 18th of November. We will make some music there. I'm sorry that I had to change our plans today. But anyways, this lecture was coming your way in a point. So why not now? And yeah, just if you have any questions or you want to grab me, remember you can book my time. I would be happy to help you. And yeah, thanks a lot. And see you next time. If you want to tell me something now, if not,